Hello there, and welcome to my wave overview for the summer 2020 LEGO Star Wars sets. Now, there are a couple of sets, quote-unquote, missing from this wave, but this to me is the summer wave. The Razor Crest and Advent Calendar have always been September 1st set releases, and I don't really consider that to be part of the summer wave. Those are kind of separated. And thanks to LEGO, they sent me a ton of these sets for free. Not all of them, but all of them except for the Brick Sketches and Brickhead's Mandalorian set. We're going to go through and I'll tell you which set I think is the best bang for your buck, which set has the best and worst minifigures, the best and worst build, and about 6 other categories like that. And I also have some viewer questions to incorporate that you guys have given me after my reviews on all of these sets. And then something I get asked a lot, budget purchasing. Depending on how much money you have, what should you buy? So I'll be giving some suggestions near the end for what you should buy depending on how much money you have. Personal preference matters. What I say shouldn't be the end-all be-all for you. Make your own opinion based on what you see, but hopefully I can give you guys a good idea of what we have here in the summer 2020 assortment. If you guys enjoy, a like is always appreciated. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if you do want to see individual videos on any of these sets, which will take a much more in-depth look than we're going to have time to take a look at any particular set in this video, I'll have a playlist linked down below with all my 2020 set reviews. These are my top 3 choices for best value. The 501st Battle Pack, of course, set 75280, going to be on the list. At $30, you get 6 total figures and 2 pretty sizable vehicles. I think this one just presents an excellent value at $30. I don't think that that's something you can argue. You look at the competition like Anakin's Jedi Interceptor for $30, and it's just no contest to me. The Death Star Final Duel is my second other best value set for only $100. Well, maybe not only $100. The previous version was only $80. But what this set provides for $100 for play value, I think, is very unmatched throughout LEGO Star Wars. Like, it's very hard to get so many play features in a set, and this one really has a lot. It's got moving doors, this whole thing can move. These sections on either side can move. You have the Emperor's seat. You have sections underneath the stairs and everything. The stairs can explode. You can obviously move the Emperor's guards wherever you want. You have this jumping feature for Luke Skywalker to try and jump onto the platform. The platform can also be knocked down. So this set does provide a lot in the way of play for only $100, and I really appreciate that. Plus, it's got the arm print Vader. I think that that's worth some money on its own there, so that's really neat to have. And then for just $20, the Mandalorian Brickheads, I think, present an excellent value as well. Not that everything else here is overpriced as far as the summer sets, but these are the 3 that I think particularly represent the best value for the summer wave. I think these are the 3 best play sets, starting out with the AAT. It's got the movable cannon. You have droids and clones, which is always a nice combo. You have multiple places to fit your figures, including on top and inside the AAT. Of course, some spring-loaded shooters at the front of the AAT, and even the cannons on the side can move quite a bit. So it definitely has a lot going for it as a playset, and that's why it made the top playsets for summer 2020. I also have the Death Star Final Duel, kind of as I went over last time. There's just so much playability, along with being able to like just have the figures fight each other. I think that this one is an excellent playset at $100. And then the AT-AT with built-in spring-loaded shooters underneath the head, room for 3 in the cockpit of the AT-AT, very strong build, which will withstand play, like nothing's going to be falling off, which is great. Interior space, and the speeder and E-Web blaster kind of hidden away in there that you can kind of pull out and use whenever you want, which is great. And then even inside the AT-AT, there's a string which drops down and allows you to hoist Luke up and into or close to the belly of the AT-AT to blow it up, essentially. So plenty of playability with that one, and those are, I think, the top 3 play sets for summer 2020. A 2-for-1 here, but the best display sets here. I'm starting out with the 2 Brick Sketches, literally made to display, and they're good for that for sure. They're definitely a nice little thing to put on a desk, or you can even hang them on a wall, or just put them on the shelf if you want, but it definitely is something made for display, and I like that. I think the AT-AT can look good on display too. It hides its spring-loaded shooters very well underneath the head of the AT-AT, and it just is overall a very accurate build, so I think that that's what also lends itself to be displayable, is just how good it looks. And then kind of a surprise choice here, General Grievous Starfighter, I think can look pretty good on display. It's got the proper landing orientation, although I guess in real universe it has like landing gear. And then you could probably just set the figures up around it for displaying them. You could grab those stud shooters and take them off, maybe make it look even better for display there, but that's not a huge deal to me. I think those are the 3 best display sets for summer 2020 though. These are the sets that I think have the best minifigs out of the summer wave, starting with the Death Star Final Duel, especially with that Darth Vader who has arm printing for the first time. I think that's a big draw, and overall just great and really perfect figure selection there for what that build is. The AT-AT, I think, has wonderful figure selection too, with a couple snowtroopers, a couple AT-AT drivers, General Veers, and Luke Skywalker. Good selection. The AAT, as much as I don't like the build, has great figures as well, with an Ahsoka and 332nd Trooper, and a pair of AAT pilot droids there. And it should go without saying, but the 501st Battle Pack, of course, going to be a top tier figure set for the summer wave here, with 3 501st Troopers, a 501st Jet Trooper, and a pair of battle droids to boot. And those are my top sets for figures this summer. As for the most accurate sets of the summer 2020 wave, I have one set, and that's the AT-AT. None of the other sets really exemplify what I would consider to be accurate, both with the build and figures, so this was the only one that I felt like really deserved to be here. Maybe we could make the case for this boy, the Resistance ITS Transport. Maybe it does belong in this particular group of sets, so kind of on the edge, on the fence. So kind of on the fence there with that one, but the AT-AT certainly is the most accurate AT-AT we've had to date, with the correct color for the chairs on the inside. I think that's something that shouldn't go unnoticed. You have the speeder storage, you have the E-Web cannon, you have so many little details that are so much better on this newer set than they were on the older one. The head being able to fit both General Veers and the 2 AT-AT drivers, just like they are in the film, and the character's accuracy are all on point compared to some of the other sets that don't quite have that going for it. So just the AT-AT, I think, is the most accurate set of the summer wave. The Resistance ITS Transport maybe number 2, but I felt like the AT-AT kind of stood alone as an example of accuracy. These are my 3 most inaccurate sets of the summer wave, and in some cases, the builds are good, like Anakin's Jedi Interceptor and the General Grievous Starfighter. Those are both very accurate builds, but the figures are not, and therefore the set is not accurate because we're looking at the set on the whole. In the case of the AAT, the proportions on it are just completely wrong. Minifig scale is irrelevant. As you saw with the AT-AT, it's not minifig scale, but its proportions are correct and everything about it is accurate. But the AAT, while being somewhat a minifig scale, is just completely wrong with its canon and proportions and coloring and marking. Like, it's just missing so much stuff there. Obi-Wan from Mustafar. What? Anakin from Mustafar. What? I feel like only one set deserves to be in the worst value set category for summer 2020. I think everything else provides at least a decent value. This one, 487 pieces and price per pieces and everything, but the build is about the same size as the build from 2010, and the set costs $30 more. I'm just not seeing it. Plus, you get that inaccurate Obi-Wan. You're missing a Phase 2 Cody that should have been in this set. Undoubtedly, the value would have been there had you had that figure. Maybe, but unfortunately, this set just under-delivers in a lot of ways, and to me, it's the worst value set of summer 2020. These are the sets that I think have the worst minifigs. General Grievous's Starfighter's case is that the Obi-Wan is completely inaccurate, and it should have had Phase 2 Cody. With the Resistance ITS Transport, we have a bit of a different story. I just think a $100 set should have more than 2 minifigs. I think something like Hondo should have been in this set, because Hondo kind of runs Galaxy's Edge, so he should have been included in the one Lego Star Wars Galaxy's Edge set. Like, should have been there. And finally, the Anakin Starfighter should have had a third figure or some buzz droids or something, but that wasn't there, on top of the fact that they reused Mustafar Anakin, and that's completely inaccurate. So yeah, those are the sets that I think, if you're looking for best minifigs, you really want to stay away from. I was originally going to call this category the weirdest choice, but I also feel like the most unexpected is also a pretty fitting name for what these sets represent, with the Death Star Final Duel being a re-release of a set literally just released 5 years ago. I don't think anyone saw that one coming. Like, that one was definitely a surprise. Maybe you could have guessed that they would do something from Galaxy's Edge eventually, but seeing a complete remake / re-release, very close to a re-release of this set so soon, was really surprising. This thing came out of the blue as well and was not expected at all, and I still think it's a weird choice, but it definitely makes sense, I guess, that it's off the latest and greatest Galaxy's Edge ride. But still, I was like kind of surprised to see that one, and very surprised to see this thing making a comeback in its original form, basically. So those are my 2 most surprising / weirdest choices that LEGO made for this summer wave. The main quote-unquote, did we really need another one of these sets for the summer 2020 line, has to be the Anakin's Jedi Interceptor. I mean, they just released this thing 6 years ago, and it feels like it's the exact same, but I was gonna only have this set, but I felt like it's only fitting that the other another set that's kind of a remake of something somewhat recent would be in here, and that's the Death Star Final Duel. Did we really need to see another one? I think this one makes more sense because LEGO's trying to attract more adult fans right now. And adult fans can look at a set like this from the original trilogy and be like, hey, I'd love to have that because it has all these cool characters that you can't really get in other sets right now. So that one kind of makes sense to me. This one a lot less so. But those are my two sets. Like, hey, did we really need another one of those? These three sets, I think, present the best potential investments for the summer 2020 lineup. I think you have the best potential to make some money if you're into investing. This was kind of a tacked on category that I got some comments about, and I was like, hey, I guess I could give my 2 cents on this. You might make 2 cents on them. You might make tons of sense on them. It's never guaranteed that your investments will pay off, but these are the 3 sets that I really think could easily go up in value a lot. And hey, maybe by the mere factor of me saying this in a video, they don't because so many people invest in them. And then there's a ton of them after their retirement, and then that's plenty of supply for the demand that would exist after that. But who knows? I think that The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda will continue to gain popularity, and the Brickheads typically aren't available for all too long, so those might definitely be a good one to get into. Ahsoka, for whatever reason, never seems to die, and assuming the 332nd Trooper doesn't see an appearance in another set, this AAT may find itself as a great investment to pick up those 2 figures, especially for, because the Ahsoka itself from the last version of Ahsoka was worth well over $100, so you could definitely get into it for something like that. And then, of course, the File First Battle Pack. File First Troopers, right now, the older ones go for like $20 a pop, and who knows, this could drastically devalue them, but we've seen troops like this that have shown up in Battle Packs, not File First specifically, but Battle Packs in recent years, really, like 2014, 2015, that have shot up in value to be worth $60, $70 for just the Battle Pack. So you could definitely see something like that happen with that set a few years down the line, but of course, nothing's guaranteed. Don't take my advice for granted here because it is not a guarantee. I can't guarantee that you will make or not lose money, really. Like, you could lose a ton of money. Who the hell knows? So don't take my advice and come back to me and be like, hey, you lost me money, because that's not the way this works. I'm just giving you my opinion. The most common viewer question I saw, and really the only good one that I got from a lot of people, was how the instructions work with the LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga code. So they have these little things on all the sets that say you can play it in Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, the new LEGO video game that's going to be coming out in the second half of 2020. Despite the game being months from release, you would be very surprised how many people ask me for the codes that they literally can't use for many months from now. I will say I'm going to make a video when I have the Razor Crest and the Advent Calendar as well, with all of the codes for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, but the way it works is in the back of the instruction manuals. I just showed you the AAT. The back of the instruction manual will have a page that shows off the game and then has the code for that particular set. In this set's case, it does not have a code because this set will actually be in the game already, or at least this particular build or these figures or whatever. However, some sets, like the Resistance Transport here, do have a code at the back, and it's found on that same page, but there's a code that says you can unlock the model in game. So not all instructions have the code, but some do, and when you get to the back, the code is going to be universal. So like I said, I'm going to make a video with all of the codes in it when I have all of the codes before the game comes out. So please don't ask me. Now we're going to get into our must-buys, our stayaways, and our budget buys. And of course, a lot of this stuff may come down to personal preference for you. So if you disagree, that's fine. Just use your eyes and pick what you like. But if you were asking me what are the must-buy sets of this summer wave, well, if you need the Knights of Ren, then the Night Buzzard is a must-buy. If you don't care about the Knights of Ren, obviously, then, well, you don't need to buy it. But if you do have the other 4 Knights of Ren and you want to complete that collection, then that automatically makes this set a must-buy. My other must-buy, of course, is going to be the File First Legion Clone Troopers set at only $30. It provides excellent value, and of course, we worked pretty hard to get it, so I think it's worth at least getting one for a lot of people. I also think that, assuming you like the Mandalorian, that the Mandalorian and the Child Brickheads are an absolute must-buy, and if you don't own prior versions of the AT-AT or Death Star Final Duel, I think that either of those sets could be seen as a must-buy for a lot of people. It's a great way to get some characters that you can't really get in other sets right now, and they present either the most accurate or most playable versions of themselves or of their scenes and vehicles that we've ever seen. As far as absolute stayaways for the summer 2020 lineup, I think there's only 2, and that's going to be Anakin's Jedi Interceptor and General Grievous's Starfighter. Now, this could change. If LEGO will go in and change those torso prints, I would be much more open to suggesting these sets, but as of now, with the super inaccurate torso prints, I think that you should really stay away from these 2 particular sets. You don't want to
to encourage this behavior from LEGO. It's absolutely disgusting to see them doing that, reusing figures like that in LEGO Star Wars. We don't want to let it happen again, or hopefully, like I said, they could change the figures out like they've done in the past, because only the best is good enough, but clearly not, because they've done this. So that's the way I feel about that. Those are my absolute stayaways, assuming you're able to stay away from them. And now for a couple of quick different budget scenarios. If you only got $50, well, then my suggestion would be the 501st Battle Pack and the Mandalorian and the Child Brickheads. If you have $100, you obviously have some wiggle room, but my suggestion would be to go for, again, the 501st Battle Pack. And if you like the Knights of Renship, maybe round that out to $100 there with the $70 Knights of Renship between the two of those sets. If not, the AAT would be a nice combo for your Clone Wars. Of course, the AAT goes well against those 501st builds, so that's $70 there. You're left with $30. You could either go with the Anakin Starfighter, although I think that's a stay away. I would really suggest going with either the Mando Brickheads or one of the Brick Sketches to kind of round yourself out near $100 there. And let's say you're a big baller, you got $250. Well, you should be picking up that AT-AT. That's $160 there. Leaves you with $90 left, and maybe you have 10 extra. I would say go for that Death Star Duel. Just spend all the money on that for those two sets. Or if you only have the 90 extra bucks, can't swing the 10 extra bucks to spend 100 there, I would go with the 501st Battle Pack, an AAT, that's 70, and then you have $20 left, those Mando Brickheads. It really just comes down to picking the best sets for yourself, though, but those are my personal suggestions based on those particular budgets. But yeah, if you have any other questions, you can leave them in the comments section below, and hopefully I can help you out, or someone else can help you out. But this is the summer 2020 lineup of LEGO Star Wars sets. The Razor Crest and Advent Calendar still to come in September, but this is the August wave, and that's what I consider to be summer. September to me has always been more fall, but that's just my personal thing here in Florida, I guess. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this overview of every LEGO Star Wars Summer 2020 set here. I think it was pretty fun. Thank you to LEGO for providing quite a few sets of these for free for my reviews, and I was able to use them in this video, obviously, as well. But yeah, let me know which sets you may end up getting in the comments below. I think most people are going to be getting this at the very least, and then who knows what will be the second most popular set. Probably the AAT, just for that Ahsoka and 332nd, because the Clone Wars is popping lately. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Hope to do more wave overview videos like this in the future, because I think it's quite fun. So let me know if you guys enjoyed the video, what you would have made better about it or changed about it. I thought it was an interesting one, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.